Hello, it's me, Tribe Simmer, and welcome back to my channel. Today we've had the first speed build in a little while, and it's the first in my Sim Chat series of videos. So I'm going to explain a little bit about that in a moment, but I'm just going to go through what the build is. It's a vampire themed manor house, and this is kind of for I got vampires for Christmas. That was my present to myself, and I've been playing a vampire couple and I want a nice house for them to live in. So we've got a lot of landscaping, big scary trees, all the overgrown grass, a fountain. Then we've got a big hallway which leads into the living room and a ballroom. We've got a library with a secret study. And we've got a big dining room with a tiny kitchen because they don't need to eat, they're vampires. They eat us. And then upstairs we've got like two adjoining single rooms with the coffins in for them too, and then a couple of guest rooms and bathrooms. Like I say, it was kind of inspired, well, it was inspired by a couple of particular Sims, which is why in the upstairs in the girls' bedroom, it's all like pastel inspired because she's like sort of pastel gothic. So that is the build. What else I was going to talk about is my new Sim Chat series. So I put up a poll a little while ago on Twitter, and what I was sort of asking is, I do a lot of LPs, I don't do a lot of other videos. What would you like to see on my channel? And I got voted for more cast videos and more building videos. And I figured, right, I'm going to have something to talk about in my videos because I'm not very good at talking about what's going on in builds, anything like that. That's not something I would be very entertaining doing. So what I've been doing is I've come up with this idea to do Sim Chat, which is kind of like an interactive part of my channel. So I'll have I'm going to put up polls and stuff on Twitter and discussions. So if you want to be involved, find me on Twitter at TribeSimmer. And what I'll be doing every now and again, maybe once or twice a week, putting up a poll or discussion. And it'll be about certain things relating to The Sims. And then we've got like opinions. If you put your comments down below, I can have a shout out, stuff like that. Just to have something that's a bit interactive, something you can get involved in. And I just thought it would be a good idea. So today's episode of the Sim Chat is comparing the Sims base games. So I put out a poll on Twitter to discuss which of the Sims base games we thought was the best. Now, what I got, it wasn't quite what I agreed with, but Sims 3 won. Between the four base games, The Sims 2, The Sims 3 and The Sims 4, The Sims 3 won by 42%, which was followed closely by Sims 2 at 32%, The Sims 4 at 26%, and The Sims original game got 0 votes. Which, I still, like I say, I somewhat agree with that, but I'm a bit torn. So let's take things back. As much as I love the original Sims game, I have to agree that it's kind of like the thinnest game of the franchise. I didn't play that much when it first came out. I didn't have it myself. My friends did. I was probably about 9 years old when The Sims came out. Yeah, 2000, so it'd have been 8 or 9. And I had a friend and she had it, and there wasn't a hell of a lot to do, apart from kind of build and fulfill the needs. Like, there was jobs and stuff like that, but it wasn't that in depth. It was just sort of there. And it wasn't kind of until the Live and Large and House Party expansion packs that the game kind of bulked out, and it would, it got more fun, and you could do quirkier things and stuff like that. That was when I got the game. I got the Live and Large. I think I got Double Deluxe, which had like Live and Large and House Party on that. And I think that if I'd only got the base game, I probably wouldn't have been as invested in the franchise as I am now, because I think that it wasn't as fun. Whereas when you had those like packs where got I don't know, like the vibrating bed and stuff like that, hot tubs, those sorts of things, that was kind of the party aspect, the people showing up at the house, clowns, stuff like that. That was what made The Sims The Sims. So like I say, I think with that, it's not as a base game yet, like taking this back 18 years, it's still a brilliant game, but compared to the other ones, it's a bit thin on the ground, and it's the beginning of the franchise. But I can see why I got no votes anyway. So that brings me on to The Sims 4. That was ranked 3rd, and that got 24%. Did I just say 24%? Yeah, no, 26%, sorry. And I feel as though The Sims was quite lacking in its original form, The Sims 4, and this is something that's probably quite a known opinion in the Sims community. So I feel as though it's taken away more than we kind of gained, because they had the big features with complete overhaul of Create a Sim, where you could like mould your Sims to look as they are. I mean, I've not quite got the hang of that, but you can do some fantastic things with that. And you've got like the smart Sims and the emotions and stuff like that, which it did change the gameplay, it changed what the game was. But I don't think that those changes or those additions to the game quite made up for like losing things like pools, toddlers, creator style. I understand why they took that out, and that's one of the things that slows The Sims 3 down, but you know, it was a huge part, especially when you've not got a lot of things that match in The Sims 4. Very difficult. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some fantastic builds. I mean, just see Dr. Ashley for her base game builds, they're fantastic. But, you know, the terrain tools, open world, stuff like that, it's lacking for a base game. Personally, I was disappointed when I got the game, you know, and this had a whopping £70 charge on the original game. Now, I didn't get it then. I waited about a year before I got it, and I got it about half price, maybe about £30. And I remember being really, really disappointed. I found it really, really bare, and I didn't actually play it. I played it like the day I got it, and then I went straight back to The Sims 3, and it was probably about a year after when my Sims 3 game started to really slow down, because I put so much things into it, and all the games were kind of that far on in the legacies that were starting to slow down, which was a massive problem in The Sims 3. It's not so bad in The Sims 4. But I didn't play for a year. I bought it, and it was about a year later when I started to play it, and I got into it. But I don't think I'm into Sims 4 as much as I have been like The Sims 3. So, you know, for me, and, you know, the people that voted for The Sims 3 and The Sims 2 in my poll, you know, there was a lot lacking. Like, you do have all these game packs and stuff packs and expansion packs, and I think one good thing about The Sims 4 is that you can customise the game exactly to be how you want it to be. You don't have to buy all these extra things. I don't know how I feel about the stuff packs. I think there's too many, but you know, you can create your kind of personalised game. I prefer expansion packs, but I think it's good because I've got a game that's suited to my gameplay now, and I don't have all the stuff that I don't want or don't need just for the sake of having the odd feature. So I think that's a good part of The Sims 4, but that's not judging on the base games. That's the exact like opposite. They're the reasons why I do like it, and that's like the improvement. So that leads kind of onto the Sims 2, Sims 3 debate. Now, I thought this was a really tough decision to make because it was so close, but I went against what the poll agreed. The poll did put The Sims 3 marginally ahead at 42 versus 32%. And now, while I do love The Sims 3, it's a game I've probably played the most in depth, and it's still my favourite. It just takes far too long to load now on my computer. But it brought in a lot of my favourite features, like the creator style, open world, and which I thought brought like a more realistic experience to the game. But what happened was that with The Sims 2 is it completely revolutionised the game. It took your like little pinprick avatar and gave it a fulfilling life and a legacy, because you went from Sims 1 where you had like a baby that could grow into a child which would never age, or you've got like your adults that the only way you can get rid of them is by killing them off. So you could go from like that to like your legacy to having like a baby all the way through to the end of life and seeing how their family and stuff like that changed. And if you look at the differences between each game, the upgrade from The Sims to The Sims 2 was phenomenal, because suddenly you had a family that could grow old, you can get pregnant, you could have desires, like whims and wishes were a thing, and you could create a sim how you liked it. Like, remember The Sims 1, you had a head and you had ear clothes, you had clothes, whereas now you had like, you could change the features, and not as much as you can now, but you know, this is like the change in the games between the two. And you had life stages, you know, like I said before, you had an adult who'd only could face a tragic death, or a child destined to never grow up, and now you had, like, say, babies, toddlers, teenagers, and you could literally live out your life and create your own story, which is like why I say why I chose The Sims 2 over The Sims 3. Like, it set the groundwork for future games, and it was the first step to like setting our Sims creativity free and like creating stories. And we finally got 3D. Like, remember The Sims 2, Sims 1, it had 3D meshes, but you didn't really play in 3D, whereas you can go to full 3D, and you have meals, you don't have that like goop stuff on your plate or salad. You had time, like Sims 1, you didn't have days off work, you could miss a day, or if not you get fired if you miss 2 days, whereas you had like days off, you had weekends, you had you know, and it created like I don't know, like a life experience. And I mean, it depends how you play. I'm less of a legacy player, but you know, we wouldn't have like the not so berry challenge if it wasn't for The Sims 2. We probably wouldn't have the rest of the Sims game if it wasn't for that, because I think that the little fun, if it would stayed with like expanding on The Sims 1 or The Sims, we wouldn't have grown the way that it has. And you know, there's things I love about The Sims 3, like I've mentioned before, like the terrain tools, the create a world. Oh yeah, that was the thing. Yeah, that wasn't part of the base game, but I meant to say create a sim. And you know, there's things that The Sims 4 and The Sims 3 do better, but it's just the fact that, you know, the impact that that game had on the future of the franchise. That's why I picked The Sims 2. I can totally understand why people picked The Sims 3, and it was so close. It was marginal between the two, because like I say, Sims 3 is probably my favourite game. But as a base game, without any expansions or anything else, I think that The Sims 2 just nudges that a little bit more over The Sims 3. So I think that's kind of my input. Hopefully, I didn't get any comments on my poll, unfortunately, so hopefully next time I'll have some comments and I can do some shout outs and stuff like that. But for now, I'm going to leave you to watch the rest of this video. If you have enjoyed the video and want me to do more, comment down below, or find me on Twitter at TribeSimmer. The hashtag will be SimChat. So I will be putting polls up every now and again to put these up for you. Yeah, so if you want to like, comment and share, if you haven't already, if you're brand new, hello, click the button down below, join the tribe and subscribe, and I will leave you to watch the rest of this video. Bye everyone!